Hello and welcome into BTN's Take 10 podcast. This is Alex Roux of BTN, and it's officially game week here at the network, here in the Big Ten Conference. We've got 3 days of Big Ten football coming up starting Thursday, going into Friday, and of course, finishing up Saturday. It's week one, it's here, and we're pumped up about it here at BTN. So to kind of get us ready for the football season, I'm going to wrap up our BTN Bus Tour editions of the Take 10 podcast. We've already dropped 2 episodes that covered the Eastern leg from the 2019 BTN Bus Tour, where we interviewed a player at each stop. And before the season starts on Thursday, we're going to drop the remaining 7 interviews, split up into 2 parts, and put 4 interviews in this episode right here. So as the bus looped west a couple weeks ago, we're now back in Chicago. The tour is wrapped up, but as it turned west, we started at Purdue, went on to Wisconsin, Minnesota, Nebraska, before finishing up at Iowa, Illinois, and Northwestern. So those first 4 that I just named will be in this episode. So we got Markus Bailey at Purdue. We had A.J. Taylor at Wisconsin. We had a twofer at Minnesota. First time we've done that on the bus tour is sit down with 2 guys and have a 3-man discussion with Winston DeLattiboudere, who actually was on the show a couple years ago. So good to catch up with him. And Geary. And then for Nebraska, we had Jack Stoll, who actually couldn't make it to a sit-down interview while we were in Lincoln, so he gave us a phone call later that evening, and we were able to knock that out on the phone and get into this podcast episode for you. So getting those interviews right now. Like I said, it's the 3rd episode out of 4 from the BTN Bus Tour. It's a lot of good stuff to kind of get your mind right for football. I'm sure a lot of you are ready for it by now, but we'll dive right in, and we'll start in West Lafayette with Purdue's Markus Bailey. The interview starts right now.
We're live now?
We're live now, man. I'm very pleased to be joined after Purdue practice in West Lafayette by Purdue senior linebacker Markus Bailey. Markus, what's up, man? How's it going?
All good, man.
Yeah, I just came off the set, did a TV interview. Now you're doing the podcast, doing the whole car wash.
Yeah.
You were at Big Ten Media Days, so this is all old to you now. Like a podcast interview should be a piece of cake for you, right?
Yeah, this is nothing, man. You guys treat me like, like a superstar, but I'm really not. But
I mean, speaking of Media Day, it was your second one, and I just so happened to notice that you were kind of one of the freshest dudes dressed this year and last year, but this year especially. You had the customized jacket, had the initials, had kind of the color coordination. Why did you decide to kind of stun on everyone like that this year?
Well, yeah, so it being my last one, I kind of wanted to go out with a bang. And it being my second time doing it, I wanted to be a little bit more flashy, and all the hype with, Purdue coming into this season, I wanted to bring some more attention to us. And it was kind of like my mom really helped me out, kind of coordinate it. I thought it would be pretty cool to have the Purdue colors and do something unique like that, and work on a little bit of branding stuff. I just wanted to, kind of go get out there a little bit and have a little bit of swagger. So
how did you kind of evolve into this role of being one of the front-facing guys of Purdue? Like, obviously the seniority helps, but, I mean, they put you out for everything now, it seems like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been here for a while, went through, big coaching change and, a couple of defensive scheme changes, and, something that has always been constant regardless to who's here, has been my production. And, I think, from other guys watching me, they see the way I work. I don't like to talk a lot, especially when I was younger. All I did was just kept my mouth shut and worked. I was really diligent and learning the schemes and finding out ways to be productive and be effective. And, I just made plays. And so after year, that, racking up, I have more respect now, more credibility. So that's probably a lot to do with it.
So we had your media day, and we kind of asked you some goofy questions alongside some of the more serious ones. And one of the ones we asked you and your teammates who your celebrity lookalikes were. Do you remember, I think, what the consensus was? What they said?
For me, I've always, Jamal Adams, but someone has been one I've heard a lot.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I know somebody said this, I don't know if you take this kindly or not, but someone said Ronnie from Jersey Shore.
I did. Now, a couple of my friends from back home say that too. So, yeah, I've heard that. I can see that in the eyes a little bit. But it's just the fact his personality. I'm like, nah, don't do that. Don't do that to me.
That's why you have a beard. You're trying to get away from that.
That's literally the only reason why, yeah. I've heard, before I had the beard like this, I heard Pat Mahomes too.
A little bit, yeah. Hair. I can see it.
It's pretty much anyone that's light-skinned and that mix like that, they say I look alike. So.
I can see it. Who do you think mine is, if you just had to, off the top?
freaking Conor McGregor. I don't know.
Conor McGregor, that's the first one I've got. So the one I get, and I take this as a big compliment because I'm definitely below this level, but people in the street will say I look like Justin Timberlake sometimes.
Okay, yeah.
And like, I'll literally put like, oh, poor man's Justin Timberlake, because like obviously he's got the looks, he's got the dance moves, the acting. So anytime people compare me to that, it's like a little more flattering than Ronnie from Jersey Shore. But like Ronnie's not a bad looking guy. It's just like you said, the personality is what.
It's all the baggage that comes with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll gas myself up there, and that's it. Moving on, Markus, a little more serious now into your background. You're a Columbus kid. I assume you were an Ohio State fan growing up. This story's probably been told before, but you Buckeyes fan when you were coming up?
Yeah, inevitably, yeah. If you grow up in Ohio, Ohio State football is just so, fantasized there, and it's like a dream for, everyone to play at Ohio State. You watch it, I feel like it's more than what, I can't speak from being from anywhere else, but from what I've heard, like, it's just like Ohio State is just like those people that grow up there, you want to go there. And so, of course, I was, but it wasn't like I was like a freaking diehard fan, but, it would have been, when I was younger, I had thought about it,
So, being from there, ending up here, how sweet was that game last year? The game that kind of put the nation on pause. You guys shocked them. You had a touchdown against them even. Like, it had to be kind of like the how do you like me now type moment for you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Going into that game, I wanted to make sure that, all the guys, they knew that not to make it bigger than what it was. It's still football. They were number 2 team in the nation, but as long as we played hard, played fast, played physical, and did what we were supposed to do, we have a chance to win. And we were flying on all cylinders that day. We were playing fast. Now the next step going forward for this season is to have that same type of performance consistently.
Yeah. And looking back at that game, like I still can't believe it all came together like that, because the game day piece aired in the morning with Tyler Trent. He said, we're going to beat Ohio State, and the way it all kind of came together perfectly is just, it's something that I still like look back on last season. That's something's gonna like live forever. It's a crazy thing that I'm sure was really cool to be a part of. Yeah,
it was awesome, man. Definitely one of my highlights of my career so far. But hopefully, got a lot more of those highlights this year.
Still work to do, right? Looking ahead and using, I guess, some inspiration from a game that did not go as well. You talked about it openly. The loss to Auburn in the bowl game. What was the vibe like in the locker room? Was it more, dejected? Was it pissed off? And how do you use that as fuel, like you kind of alluded to earlier, going into your last season here?
Yeah, man. After the game, I think just purely embarrassment. It was just we were representing not just like ourselves, but the entire Big Ten, and we did not have a great performance, but we definitely, put that behind us, and we were using. Learning things from that game going forward, but we're not dwelling on it. We have it fueled us in the off season. We have a chip on our shoulder and everything, but we're looking to the future. We're looking forward now, and we're not really concerned with that game anymore.
Right. So I read that you were potentially projected to be a maybe 3rd, 5th round, mid-round pick in the NFL draft. Obviously, last year. Obviously, you're back, and you want to boost that draft stock as high as possible. How much was it personal motivation for you to enhance your NFL potential, and how much of it was we have unfinished business after that bowl game and after 6-6 season?
Yeah, I think first off, it was just the bowl game that I was like, nah, man, like I want to come back and because when I first came to Purdue, I said I come to Purdue. It's a program that's not doing well. I want to help be a part of something that turns us around, be the part of the class that turns it around, and that does something special, goes to a Big Ten championship. And after that bowl game last year, I said I left it bad, a really salty taste in my mouth, and I wanted to come back and prove to myself and to my teammates that I'm going to be here for them and do whatever I can to help us go forward and not have an outcome like that this season.
Yeah.
The other part of that question you said for my draft stock, that's something, of course, that's in the back of my mind, but my main focus is doing whatever I can for the team.
Yeah, and you kind of mentioned it there. The pieces are all kind of in place. Like the facility we're sitting in right now, it's a beautiful lounge, part of a major upgrade that has taken place in the last couple of years. Jeff Brom is committed to you guys. He turned away Louisville and signed an extension here, and recruits are buying in. So like the foundation's laid, right? And you guys are, as seniors and as upperclassmen, kind of the bridge to the next step that you're trying to take as a program. So just even looking beyond your time here, what do you think the level that Purdue football is aspiring to reach, what do you think that looks like for the program?
it's championships. You know, you can already see with the level of recruits. Not that stars necessarily matter, but I guess if you're looking at it from the lens that we're getting better recruits, you can tell that the guys that are coming in now are more ready to play. The guys that we had to come in this class 2019, there's a lot of those guys are going to help us win this year, help contribute. And, you know, our coaching staff has done a great job, and, you know, it's just going to keep building the building. And, you know, Purdue needs to be one of the best teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, well said. To wrap up, I'll take it back to the lighter side of things a little bit. I'll bring up Media Day again because we had Jeff Brom in that same room you were in doing some social media friendly stuff. We got him to do the Let's Play Football XFL clip. Have you seen that before when he did his XFL?
Yeah. What does he say? He says, do I not have a pulse?
Yeah.
Is this or is this not the XFL?
Yeah.
Let's Play Football.
So how many times do you think it took him to get it on the nose perfect?
I feel like he did it on the first time. That's just like he did it.
He started like saying 2 words, kind of messed up, stumbled for a second, and then got it perfect throughout the whole thing after that. So I'll give him like first try for that.
I think his mind state was a little different in that video than what it is now.
When's the first time you saw that clip, and what would you think? Like when he was laying out, like knocked out on the turf.
I think I first saw it. I didn't know if he had been hired yet or if it was for sure, but I knew it was like it had come out. There was media attention saying that he was a big contender, and then I think that video popped up, or maybe it was like right after he got hired. But I was like, oh, this is our head coach.
I know, like,
okay, bet.
Obviously, people are a little more sensitive now to like the head injury side of the game, and he was, you know, he was like looked like he was out cold on the field, but the juxtaposition of that and the clip of him saying without pause, like, let's play football, it just, you can't help but smile. Like you said, it's like, all right, bet, let's go. Like this, that's a football guy. It's right become
our brand. Let's play football, and it's all because of
hashtag.
Literally now it's a part of our Purdue brand now. Let's play football.
Yeah, and if you could, real quick, you don't have to like, if it's confidential, whatever, that's fine. But I'm just curious, in the locker room and within the team, I guess, mindset when Jeff was considering going to Louisville, like what were you guys talking about amongst yourselves? Like, was there a group chat going? Did you guys think that he was maybe gone? And then once he decided to come back, how did you kind of find out?
I've said this before. I think Coach Brom is a very straightforward guy, very transparent, and he was that way with us throughout the whole process. You know, post IU game, going into the bowl game, he told us that, you know, he plans to stay here, and, you know, we would see all the different media sources say that he's this, sources say that he's going here, do that. I don't think the majority of us paid any attention to it. We all were confident that he was coming back because we trusted him, and, you know, when he did, it was just like it wasn't anything huge because we knew. I mean, it was huge to get him back, but we didn't. It wasn't like a huge sigh of relief because we all were confident that he was going to be here still because he's a man of his word.
Right. I liked David Blau's kind of victory lap on Twitter because it was Dan Dockett who reported that Brom was gone. He called him out. And speaking of David, who's obviously gone now, taking a shot at the NFL, he's kind of an example of something I've noticed around here. Is you guys like to have fun. You guys seem like a very tight knit group. The coaches are always yelling. You guys keep it loud and juiced up out at practice. And I noticed when scrolling through your Twitter timeline, doing a little research, you retweeted David Blau's 48 Madden rating, and he was salty about that because he's like, that's got to be the worst rating ever. Like, he didn't even have a picture or anything on his bio on Madden.
I think he did a good job. He capitalized on that, though, and he made the challenge with it. He say if anyone can win
like MVP mode with me as the quarterback.
Yeah, he did. David's a smart dude. He was able to, you know, turn that pretty well and make a joke out of it. So
it was hilarious. Like I had a good laugh just doing a little research on you, and then, like you said, he was a good sport about it. Also, one thing I noticed around here, I don't know if you guys hear this stuff during practice, but we were sitting outside. I swear to God, I heard like a seagull chirping. Like, I didn't know West Lafayette is near any bodies of water. I don't think you guys have any water around here, but I heard it. It was so loud, and you guys are probably locked into practice, but I just didn't know if you had any scoops on like. If you guys are getting maybe you guys are getting a new mascot or something. I don't know.
Hey, I don't have any information on that unless the Wabash has some creatures coming over here. But
could be, man. You never.
I'm not sure.
Some exotic life coming in here. There was an alligator in Chicago a couple weeks ago, so you never know what's gonna happen.
You never know, man.
All right, last question, Marcus. We'll get you out of here. Asking all the players this at each stop. We usually have time in town, and we get some of the local cuisine. It's the best place to eat. Obviously, West Lafayette's got a few famous ones. What's your favorite?
So the best place, what are you looking for? Like fast food or like sit down? Like, what do you want?
I want your favorite. Like, if it's iconic to Purdue, so be it, but I just want your favorite straight up.
Well, I'll say some of the few iconic places. So Bruno's Pizza is one of the spots that's like, That's one of the famous places at Purdue. There's a guy over there named we call him Big O. It's Orlando. He runs it. He's a big football guy. So we come in there sometimes. Triple X is a good spot to go to. It's right over there on State Street.
The Drew Brees burgers, like the peanut butter one.
Yeah, that's one of Drew Brees.
Yeah.
There's a place called Two Fellas. Mm-hmm. I hadn't really heard of Two Fellas before I got to Purdue. It's like, they got like 5 guys over there in that area, but there's a place called Two Fellas right there too. And it's like fast food, but they have like big burritos, but they put like a bunch of fried stuff in there, like tater tots and like barbecue chicken and just a bunch of ridiculous ingredients.
If 2 fellas can get the job done, why do you need 5 guys?
Yeah, so there's a few places. There's a place over here called like Stack Pickle that's like right by the facility is decent, and then another Broken Egg is around, but like a lot of guys go there because we have Mucho there.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Bruno's. We usually get that. I don't think we're getting it this year, unfortunately, but Triple X is another spot that you got to stop to if you're passing through or having some time in town. Really good recommendations. Really good interview, man. Really appreciate it. I see why they put you on the pedestal like this for all the media interviews. Enjoyed it. Looking forward to enjoying your senior year and Purdue's next step here in the Big Ten and on national stage.
Yeah, I appreciate the time, man.
All right, thanks to Markus for sitting down with me. Really good dude. Fun to get to know him. Moving along now to Madison, Wisconsin, and receiver A.J. Taylor. That interview with the Badgers wideout starts right now. Very pleased to be joined here in Madison, Wisconsin, on a beautiful day in Madison by Wisconsin senior wide receiver A.J. Taylor. A.J., doesn't get much better than this out here today, man. How you been?
I've been really good, These days we've had for camp have just been gorgeous, No day's been too hot, no day's been too cold, but it's been nice, but we're probably going to need to, get a little bit warmer so we can get ready to play in Tampa real soon.
Yeah, absolutely. A little humid down there. With this being stop 9 on the tour for us, we've had mostly good weather, but there have been some really hot and humid days. So you guys don't know how good you have it right now. And honestly, you're on campus for the summer, but the students are the ones missing out right now. They're all at home wherever. So you guys are really the lucky ones.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed to be here all summer and enjoy this. This is the time to be in Wisconsin. It's the summer because, like I just said, it's never hot and it's really not humid. So this is the supreme time, when it hits, when winter hits, probably around, October. That's when, things start getting real chilly and icy. But now this is supreme.
I'm glad you said that because I don't know if you can believe this, but we almost never on this tour get to stay the night in Madison. But this year we do. So we finally get a chance to kind of chill. Usually it's right on to Minnesota, but today we get to stay the night. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm going to get some recommendations for you later about what to do while I'm in town. But we'll start the discussion off with something recent that happened here. You guys unveiled some jerseys recently, some throwbacks. Give me your thoughts on those. I thought those looked pretty clean. I don't know about you.
Yeah. If I had to, give one word for that, it would be fire because those jerseys are hot. They're nice. It's a change up. Usually we are stick to the tradition and we don't really do anything, outside the normal. And to do anything like that is it's beyond us, and so we're all pretty pumped up for that.
Did you know they were coming, or did they surprise you?
No, I didn't know they were coming. It was a big surprise. They showed the whole team a couple days ago. They're like 3 hours before they actually unveiled them. So, yeah, it was a surprise.
That's pretty cool. All right, man. I want to get into your background a little bit. I try to keep it, keep it loose and try and get into the backstories of the guys I have in the show. So. Take me through where you're from. You're a KC guy, right?
Yep.
All right, so how does a guy from KC end up here in Madison?
Good question. So, like you said, I'm from Kansas City, and I went to an all-boys high school, Rockhurst High School, and, it was a really good high school for, football. So I had a couple of options that I wanted, decided on whether I wanted to go to, and I knew that I wanted to get a scholarship for football. So I went there, just ready to work, and the coach, he's a really prestige coach. His name's Tony Severino. He's really a good coach, and actually he's retiring this year. So it's just a whole big deals about that. But he was there, and he coached me up. He got me right. Gave me the opportunity to play for running back there. And honestly, I don't know how like I even came on Wisconsin's radar. I just remember Coach Gilmore hitting me up at some point and said, we're looking at you and we want you to come up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did, and then they offered me, and shoot, the rest is history.
Was it one of those things you got on campus, you're like, okay, I know I'm going here, did you have to think about it and weigh your options a little bit?
It was one of those things where, like, you go here and everything feels right. It's like everything felt right. I still, like, didn't want to make an impulse decision, but it was one of those, like, okay, things are clicking. I like the people. I like the guys. I like the campus, and there was just nothing you could really say no.
All right, for sure, and obviously you can play football a little bit, but they tell me you got an interest in film and movies and production as well. So
yeah,
take me through, I guess, what you kind of specialize in that field, and how that caught your attention and made you want to pursue something like that.
Yeah. So there was, I've always been into like film. First off, like just the whole film universe, the industry, and acting's always been really like intriguing to me. But I got really into it when, who was it? I was talking with somebody and they were like, like film is a major here. And that once I learned that, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to switch. So I ended up, like, long story short, I ended up switching majors to communication art with an emphasis in film, TV, and radio. And I've been getting into we've been doing more really film classes. So I was taking more of it was a production class where I actually had to direct it, I had to write, I had to act in other people's. So, like, just the whole process is interesting to me. Even the cinematography aspect is really creative and a great creative process to dive into, but I'm interested in it all, and really, I really like the acting part too, though.
So what are your favorite genres of movies, and beyond that, what are some of your favorite movies of all time, I guess, that you've seen?
Oof, that's good. My favorite genre is sci-fi and thrillers. Those are like my favorite by far. Action's probably a close follow-up. Favorite movies, that's probably one of the hardest questions you can ask on something like this.
It's tough. It's on the spot.
This is like on the spot.
So I'll start with a couple of mine just to get the juices flowing a little bit. You mentioned sci-fi. I really liked Independence Day. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, and that was one. I hated the sequel, but I really liked the original because it was one that you saw like just the right age where it left an impression on you, and like it's a blockbuster. It's a big movie. And then my other movie that I can watch pretty much any time is The Departed. That's a good one. That's one I can see coming on TV anytime, and I'll leave it on. I'll seek it out if it's on Netflix, and it's Scorsese. It's a classic. So I don't know if you got any.
Okay,
top of your head.
Okay, so off the top of my head, just like. Okay, let me just give you like by actors like that I like. So with Leonardo DiCaprio, like he's just a great actor.
He's my favorite actor, I think.
He's your favorite actor? Yeah, he's in The Revenant. I thought that was amazing. I honestly thought Django was good. And then Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I was about to ask you if you've seen that. I did see it.
That's a good one, too. He acted really well.
That movie was really entertaining. I like Tarantino movies. So,
do you? Yeah. And then, I like so many different... Like, if we just sci-fi, then we can go, like, Legion. I like that. I like Book of Eli. I like... Those
are some, like, post-apocalyptic... Book of Eli.
And then,
that's like I Am Legend type.
Yeah, those type of movies are really, like, my favorite, post-apocalyptic. Those are, again, kind of with the sci-fi and thriller.
Right.
But I can't even think right now.
We could probably do a whole podcast on movies.
We could, I could really just tell you every movie.
We got to talk a little bit of football, though, just because, some fans are probably tuning in for that. So... It's an interesting situation here with you being a wide receiver and a new quarterback, battle going on campus. Yeah. Jack Cohn, Graham Mertz. First of all, isn't Mertz a KC guy like you?
He is.
All right, so you guys connected it all outside?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So we got a battle going on there. But first I got to ask, before we even get into talk quarterbacks, about the Alex Hornibrook comments at Florida State a couple weeks ago. Because, I saw... First of all, let's let me know that you guys are tight-knit as a unit. I know Wisconsin has always seemed to me from the outside to be a tight-knit group. You guys seem to get along, football and basketball, really. Yeah. And you guys kind of all came together when you heard the comments of Hornibrook saying, his guys at Florida State really work hard.
Yeah.
Tell me about one, your guys' reaction as a unit when you saw that, and then how you guys kind of got each other's back on social media.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of a tougher. It was not a tough situation. It was more of like I'd say more of an impulsive feeling we kind of had, like, oh, what, really? But like, I don't think anybody really thought about how that could have been. You just kind of construed wrong a little bit with the media, and how like there was a lot of things that probably went into that whole what he said, and we kind of it was a little what's the word, a little flash, but dang, what's the word I'm looking for? We did kind of fire back quick. That's the thing. We kind of but we had each other's back. But like what we're really trying to do is just like put that in the past and like leave that behind us. Yeah, the guys got some likes and some retweets, but we really just trying to move forward. And he kind of apologized and said that's not really what he meant. So that was respectable, and we're moving forward.
Yeah, it's about ball now for sure. Yeah. And you guys got quarterbacks here. Got somebody who's going to replace him. Maybe more than one guy. Tell me about what you've seen out of two of the guys that are battling for position, Cone and Mertz.
I think both of them. Like what I like about both of them is they're confident in the backfield. There's an incredible amount of poise. Nobody. I mean, yeah, both of them have Cone has experience. Graham doesn't have experience, but they're both pretty comfortable back there. One thing I like from Jack is that from last year to this year, I can tell that he trusts like us more, like not just like the receivers, but like the whole process and the way he's making throws and throwing it to people, even if there's a little bit of coverage. And I guess it kind of comes down to trusting his arm more. So that's one thing I've been really liking out of him. And Graham, I've likened just his overall play. There's things he needs to like catch on to, fine tune, detail up and sharpen up. But overall, he's been doing his thing.
So outside of you guys, obviously we expect big things from Wisconsin. That's the standard you guys have set. Yeah. But just looking around the Big Ten and looking at your position, there's a lot of good receivers in the Big Ten, man. Yeah. We had KJ Hamler on the bus recently. Tyler Johnson, Minnesota's really good. Yeah. We just saw Rondale Moore yesterday. That dude's a beast, obviously. The guys at Michigan, with DPJ and Nico Collins. Mm-hmm. I can go on and on. J.D. Spielman. Yeah. So do you look around as a receiver, as a star in your own right here? Do you guys kind of all look around and keep up with each other? I guess you can't speak for them, but as a college athlete, do you look and see what other guys, your peers, are doing?
Honestly, I mean, probably something I don't know if I should be or not, but I don't. I definitely you respect game respect game type of thing. I respect all of them. I mean, they've all been balling, and but if I get to start looking at them, then I might get to comparing myself, and that's kind of not the game I want to play. I just want to play the best I can play, but it's kind of cool seeing a lot of the guys from the Big Ten that are doing so well, for being honest. So it just shows that this isn't just a running conference,
Yeah, for sure. It's a good point. I mean, people kind of think ground and pound Big Ten, but there's a lot of talented wideouts. Wrapping up, AJ, I mentioned earlier we finally got a night in Madison, and I always ask all the players in the podcast where we should go to eat on campus. Where's a good spot to eat? You can name more than one if you want. We're going to be here for, I guess, lunch, dinner, and even breakfast tomorrow. So let me hear it, man.
Oh, okay. Breakfast, definitely go to Mickey's Dairy Bar. That's a spot. Personally, I don't really mess with the pancakes, but if you get the scrambler, that'll change your life. So Mickey's for breakfast. Dinner, you can, or lunch, it can go either way. There's a spot called Gray's, not Glaze. See, people, you might get it confused. It's called Gray's, and it's a nice little spot by the Capitol.
Like what cows do, Gray's.
Yeah, cows do. Yeah, exactly. It's a nice little spot by the Capitol with windows all out. You can get this nice. I mean, I like the Impossible Burger there, but there's a lot of other good food you can eat. And then dinner, what I would recommend is you just go to State Street, and there's probably 50, 60 restaurants from the start of State Street till the Capitol, and you'll find something good there, something you'll find. So that's my recommendations.
All right, bet. So I'll definitely take it to heart. I'll enjoy myself in Madison because I was mentioning earlier we don't usually get to stay overnight here for football. and I'll definitely be following you guys this season. Really appreciate your time, man. It's good getting to know you a little bit, and good luck the rest of the way.
Appreciate that.
All right, thanks a lot to AJ for joining me and giving me some of his time. Appreciate that. Moving on now to a two-person interview, or I guess a three-person interview, with me as the interviewer and two interviewees. Up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Twin Cities, it's recurring guest Winston DeLattiboudere, who joined me on the tour 2 years ago, so kind of cool to chat with him and see that come full circle. And then we also were joined by Geary, who has a cool walk-on to scholarship player story, which is what Minnesota's kind of been known for, making those opportunities special since PJ Fleck got there. So we'll get into that interview right now. It's Winston DeLattiboudere and Geary. All right, very pleased to be joined here in Minneapolis after Gopher football practice by two guys doing a little different today. We got an old friend of the show and a new friend of the show. We got Geary and Winston DeLattiboudere. Did I do that right? How was that?
It was perfect.
See, that's what happens when I have a friend back. How you guys doing today, man?
Doing elite.
Elite? All right, I was hoping you guys would say that. I feel like you haven't lost the culture from 2 years ago when we talked. You were all about it then. Coach Fleck clearly has instilled it in you guys now. So, Winston, I'm going to start with you, man. You're back on the show, obviously. Has everything kind of played out since we talked 2 years ago like we expected? Like, we sat in a different room. Like, this building didn't really exist in the state it is now. You guys won fewer games then than you're projected to win now and than you won last year. How's it all come kind of full circle for you going into your senior year?
The craziest thing I think about everything has been the connectivity of the teams. So you start off and, you're getting a new culture and you're seeing guys getting into it and guys not really getting into it. But then as you see time start to carry on, you see guys start getting closer on the field and off the field, just things that they're doing in their everyday lives and things that they're doing in football. And then you're starting to see a team develop, and that team kind of capability starts to elevate, and you're like, wow, like, okay, we might be good. Okay, we might be great. And now you're looking around like, we got the chance to be elite this year. So that's kind of how I've seen it come together full circle. I'd say the biggest word is connectivity.
For sure. Clay, if you want to build on that, I mean, you're an upperclassman as well. You've been around. You've seen this get built. What's the process been for you being a part of Coach Fleck's program?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the biggest change I've seen is coming from like that building year, foundation, year zero. I mean, we had guys who you had to force them to want to do it. I mean, if you have to like try to coach someone on how to like want to play football, I mean, you just don't have a team. And over the years, we've really developed a team that wants to play football. We've transferred from a have to mindset to a want to. We love being around each other, and I mean we really have a family. It's forget about me, I love you. That's what our culture is built upon, and I mean love is sacrifice. We truly do it for one another, and our team just grows closer and closer year after year.
Yeah, and it's one thing to say that, but we can really feel it when we come and visit you guys. Like it's really a thing here. It's ingrained in the culture, and kind of building on that discussion, I'm glad you brought it up because you really saw it when your special experience, Clay, came about in the last couple weeks or so. You threw out the first pitch at Target Field and had a little scholarship reveal. So tell us about that. It's a big thing in Minnesota, the scholarship reveal.
Yeah, I mean, that was just the purest form of joy I've ever experienced in my entire life. I mean, I had my roommates out there dogpiled me. They picked me up when I got the scholarship ball. I mean, that was just the most unbelievable experience. And to hear what went on behind the scenes, I mean, we had our coaches planning us out like 2 months in advance. And I mean, they really try to make it the most unbelievable and elite experience ever. I mean, when you come to Minnesota, you truly get an elite experience in all 4 areas of your life. And that was, it was humbling to have the entire team there supporting me. And, I mean, from the past years, guys getting scholarship reveals, Coach Fleck makes it amazing and, truly elite. That was the most unbelievable experience ever.
Yeah, the guy who caught the ball, Twins player, came out and let you know about it. It was on camera. Winston, did you know that was coming, or is it a surprise to you?
I didn't know it was coming, and everybody was like, man, this is about to be crazy. Like, let's see who can really pitch this ball, blah, 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 blah. So we're up there like, I bet you Carter can't throw it like Clay can. I bet you Thomas really can't throw it. So, we're just up there talking smack. And then it happens, and I'm like, if it's anybody else who deserved it, it would be Clay. Every day he comes out, he balls. And I mean, like, not just comes out and, like, you know, goes through the motions and play. Like, this dude's a dog. Like, he's a dog. Like, D-O-G. Like, he comes out and just bites and scratches and claws. And I'm like, this dude is somebody we need on this team. So.
Yeah, it really goes along with the theme that, like I said, I've noticed here, you guys are talking about it now. There's a big emphasis here on creating kind of those rewarding experiences, you know, whether it's the scholarship reveals. I had last year Bailey Schoenfelder. He was the Navy SEAL who had a similar experience with a scholarship reveal. I saw Coach Fleck bring in a sick child and their family out there today. Like, that's something that's consistently come out of this program that you don't see everywhere else. And also, you guys presented Commissioner Jim Delaney, with the Gopher swag, the oar today. So, you know, like, it seems like Coach Fleck really pays attention to stuff like that. And I feel like, I don't know if you guys agree, but it feels like that stuff is contagious, right? Like you guys are kind of talking about it now, but it seems like you guys are consistently, you know, gassing each other up, having each other's backs. If you could just speak to the level of contagiousness that goes along with that and how it kind of feeds off each other. Go ahead, Clay.
I mean, like, this culture is all about serving and giving, and so we try to, like, bring in as many people as possible to this program. I know I have a close friend who is one of his family members battling stage 4 cancer, and, like, it's just a known thing that you go up to a coach, like one of the coaches, and say, hey, like, we need to get this guy an oar and get him out to practice, because, like, this culture is all about changing lives. And I mean, when you're in a dynamic culture like that, it's more about other people than yourself. You're really part of something bigger than yourself, and that's one thing that, I mean, Coach Fleck really emphasizes.
Yeah, I didn't even bring up the Casey O'Brien story. I just talked to him outside, met him. That was cool. It was an honor to be there in Chicago when he spoke at Media Day and gave that speech. Did you guys watch that speech as it was happening, and how did the team kind of react to him getting up there and delivering that powerful message?
Everybody kind of was, like, really excited and anticipating him speaking, because we know the type of attitude that Casey has. So it's a lot of special guys on this team who you just know they've been through so much, but still they keep their heads held up so high. So seeing Casey deliver such a dynamic speech like that was, I wouldn't say as much as a surprise to us as it was a delight to us to be able to see him do that.
Yeah.
It's every Sunday during the season, we'll come in and we'll lift. And Casey will look at me and he'll be like, Winston, it's only one way, baby. We got to go get it. It's only one way. And I'm like, Case, like, yo, no matter how beat up I feel, you're right. It's only one way. So I feel like that little sentence that he gives me, is only one way, kind of propels me and motivates me, because he's been through 20,000 times harder things in his life than I've been through in mine. So that kind of pushes me and inspires me.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't look like a 4-time cancer survivor. He's out here, like, yoked, like, you know, swole. He's like you said, been putting in the work in the weight room.
He's a big case.
Exactly. Just circling back, I want to close the loop on your Twins experience. Are you a Twins fan? Was that something that was made more special because of your baseball fandom?
You grew up in Minnesota, like, you're just an all-out fan. I mean, Twins, Vikings, Gophers, whatever it may be, and just to, like, be able to go out there and throw the first pitch, that was like a once-in-a-lifetime experience. That was unbelievable.
Are you from Baltimore?
Yeah.
So you're an Orioles fan?
I'm an Orioles fan, man.
It's a tough time to be an Orioles fan right now.
He's an adopted Twins fan.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and take them to my
second team. It's not the same division anyway. It's okay. But again, like, you know, you're from Baltimore. You're in state, right? You're from Minnesota.
Lakeville, Minnesota.
Okay, so, like, that's obviously two different parts of the country, two different experiences growing up probably. But again, something like football can bring you guys together.
Exactly.
110%.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk a little football now before we wrap up, fellas. This is more for you, Winston, because you're on defense, and last year you guys took a beating against Illinois, and your season looked like it was kind of hanging in the balance there. You made a defensive coordinator change. Why do you think you guys were able to turn your season around after that game, after that change was made?
I feel like the biggest thing with us was we kind of sat down in a room as a defense and we looked each other in the eye and we said we're going to start holding each other accountable. So being able to hold each other accountable, it takes steps. So first the D-line has to look each other in the eye and say, look, we're not playing up to the par and the standard that's the standard. So now we need to raise that. The linebackers do the same and the defensive backs do the same. Then we come together as a unit and we collectively rise up to the challenge. So every single game, every single day, it was an individual challenge instead of a week-long challenge, as we were kind of, I think, as a unit, not without the coaches knowing we were looking at it before, like it was a week-long challenge. Then it started becoming a day-by-day challenge, a play-by-play challenge. And before you know it, we're playing Georgia Tech in the bowl game, and we're preparing like we've never prepared before as a defense. And I feel like that's kind of brought us to where we are today.
Yeah, kind of the peak of the season. You guys won the Axe back, took it back from Wisconsin the first time in like 15 years or whatever it was. Is it kind of like the Stanley Cup? What happens when you get the axe in here? Like, what do you do stuff with it? Do you display it anywhere? Like, what went on with that axe? You take it out to Dickeytown? What happened?
The thing is, we rarely see it because wherever like we have events, I mean, that's where it goes. Everyone's out there taking pictures with it. I mean, yeah, it's like you said, it's a Stanley Cup. I mean,
yeah, it's for the.
You guys are looking at each other like there's a secret that it will not make it to the podcast. That's okay though.
Nah, it's for the people of Minnesota more than us. I feel like, and that's the biggest thing. Like, they have been waiting for it longer than I even knew what was in the Twin Cities. Like, they were waiting for the axe. So when we got it and the clock hit 0, I just sunk to my knees. I had never been a part of anything so great in my life.
Were you a Gophers fan growing up, Clay?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so then you know like how
to
the
get
angst of getting
to get the axe back, that meant everything. Like growing up as a kid, watching year after year. I mean, don't get the axe back to finally be a part of something like that. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, Clay. This one's for you. Since you're on offense, is there anyone on the team on defense? You know how defensive guys always think they can play offense, right? They think they got the hands, especially as a receiver. You know the saying: if there's a defensive back, it's because they don't have the hands to be a wide receiver. So. Who on the team, thinks they have the juice to play offense, but they're stuck on the other side of the ball?
Man, we have a lot of playmakers all around. Kamal, he's always trying to gas himself up, saying he can play wide out, but like his hands. I mean, he's got good hands, but I mean, I just don't know. One guy that I could truly see playing offense is Antoine Winfield.
I was gonna say, he returns punts too, so he gets his crack at it. But.
No, he's just an all-around dog. He can play any position on the field.
Big tweez.
He's a beast. That's the Baba Yaga. If you don't know what Baba Yaga is, look it up. I mean, he's a straight-up dog.
He kind of has to play defense, though, right? Like, it's in the genes, in the gene pool.
Yes.
Yeah, got passed down to him.
Absolutely. Winston, how about you? Like, you think you got any offensive chops? If they handed you the ball on the goal line, could you take it in?
If they handed me the ball on the goal line, I would do everything I could to get that ball in there, but I might not be my own first pick. So, I feel like Thomas Barber could play a little bit of fullback.
Well, he's got...
Oh, yeah, he played
He's fullback. A barber, right?
He's a fullback coming out of high school.
There you go.
He could play a little bit of fullback
That's
now.
the fridge right there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm sure he's learned a thing or two from his lineage as well. So
he has to. No other choice.
Absolutely. All right, fellas. Going to wrap up with a question I've asked every player I've talked to on the tour so far. We're in town. We got actually more time here than most places, so we need to know where to eat around campus, around Minneapolis. So it could be on campus. It could be Dinkytown. It could even be like downtown if you guys are thinking fancy. I need a place or two from each of you where we need to check out while we're in town here.
I'll start it off. No question. Ray J's. Best burgers and wings in the state of Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I would even argue the country. They have won multiple awards. I mean, every time I go there, it's unbelievable. Wings are so good. I get the dry rub, it's smoky ranch. I haven't been there in a minute. Camp's kind of taking a toll, but yeah. And then burgers. Let's see. They got the Western burger. That's really good. Western bacon blue. But I mean, Ray J's all around. They even have pasta that's top of the line. So. It's
on campus?
Yeah, it's just off campus.
Yeah, a little downtown.
It's 2-3 minutes away from you.
All right, I'll keep it in mind. Winston, D lineman got to eat. Tell me what's good.
I'm from Maryland, so I'm a seafood guy. So Smack Shack, that's what I would say. A little pricey. I only been there once or twice, but Smack Shack would be the spot, and that's kind of near Ray J's actually.
You know what they say, crab cakes and football. That's what Maryland does.
That's what Maryland does.
All right, fellas, appreciate your time. This was fun. I think the two guest format can work going forward. I'm going to start suggesting it because you guys are the pioneers. So appreciate your time. Good luck this season. Looking forward to following Gopher football and seeing the fruits of your labor here in town. So appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Blow the boat, man.
All right, thanks to both those guys for joining me. Really fun group of guys up in the Twin Cities, and those two kind of ooze that culture that PJ Fleck has been instilling for going on 3 years now. So moving on to our last interview of this episode, and it's actually not from Lincoln, Nebraska, but it is with a Lincoln resident and Cornhusker. It's Jack Stoll, the tight end down there. Jack gave me a call from Lincoln while we were on the road in Iowa. weren't able to get a sit-down interview done in time before the bus pulled out of Nebraska, so knocked it out on the phone, and we'll give it to you right now. It's our interview with Jack Stoll. Very pleased to be joined on the phone by Nebraska Huskers tight end Jack Stoll. Jack, we're on the phone right now because we couldn't get an in-person interview done in Lincoln today. We had to leave before your post-practice routine wrapped up. But I'm actually in Iowa City right now, so I'm kind of behind enemy lines for you. Is there anything you want me to do over here? Anything like spy-related you want me to pull off while I'm in Iowa?
Hey, I think we're just looking forward to that game when it rolls around here in November.
It's a good politically correct answer there, Jack. Appreciate that. Yeah. So another reason I'm disappointed I didn't get to see you is I didn't get to see the mullet up close and in person. Is the mullet still going?
Oh, she's absolutely still going. It's one of those deals, she's actually going to keep going until if we lose a game. So, I'm hoping we're not going to have to cut it at all this season. I keep it growing for another year.
So what inspired you to start growing the mullet? I know it's been kind of a big story over there in Lincoln, but how'd you get this idea to do it and then the inspiration not to cut it until you guys drop a game?
Yeah, it was actually me and another guy on the team, retail. We were just kind of sitting in one of our marketing classes, and I don't know what sparked the idea. We were just kind of talking to each other, and next thing you know, we're talking about growing a mullet, and I don't think either of us backed down from it, and so we both got it right now. We both got it packed. If we lose a game, we'll end up cutting it, and it's just one of those deals. Hey, you know what? I think the mullet's still in style. I never thought it went out of style, so we're just bringing it back. It's good to see some kids starting to rock it around Lincoln, and it's just a good time.
So it's catching on over there. Have you seen the Penn State punter Blake Gillikin? He's got one too. This is pretty good.
Oh yeah, we've seen it. Personally, I think mine's a little bit better. That's what I was saying. I don't think I'd be too humble about that one. But.
If you got it, flaunt it, man. If you got it, flaunt it. Moving on.
Absolutely.
Moving on to a much more serious topic. Tell me about your playlist at practice with the music you guys got going on. It's pretty diverse. It's like I heard some Aerosmith, I heard Lil Wayne, I heard Nipsey Hussle. Like it's a pretty wide selection of music you guys got going. So who puts that together, and what do you guys think of that?
It's just some of the strengths GAs. I think they end up just getting tasked with kind of throwing a playlist together, and we got kids from all over, from all different backgrounds. So it's one of those deals. We're trying to keep everyone happy. Whether that's just throwing a little bit of country on that, going right back to Nipsey Hussle, whatever it is. So, we just try to keep it diverse, and it's one of those deals that you get sometimes. I think everyone's starting. Some of the guys who didn't like country are starting to like country. Some of the guys who aren't into rap are starting to like rap a little bit too because of it. So, we just sit there. Whatever we got on, we end up going and playing with.
Well, you got the perfect blend of that when Old Town Road comes on. I saw everyone vibe into that. I mean, that's honestly the perfect mixture.
Oh, trust me, we've heard that a few times. I think that's getting cut from the playlist at this point.
Yeah, that one's you can only listen to that so many times, and we're going on like 6 months now, so maybe cycle in some new stuff. Jack, want to get into your? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. That's all you, man.
Want to get in your background a little bit as we shift away from music here. Noticed you're from Colorado, just outside the Denver area. You guys obviously play in Colorado this year. Curious, were you a Buffs fan growing up, just being from around that area?
To be honest, I was never really a huge Buffs fan. My dad was from Wisconsin, mom was from Cincinnati. I actually had a few uncles play on Notre Dame, had a cousin play there. Cousin played at Ohio State, actually, when they won that national championship a few years ago. I would say I never really had a team I was truly rooting for. It would be, whether it's Notre Dame, watching my older cousin play, or, just watching a few Ohio State games, watching my other cousin play. So, I was never really a huge CU fan, but I could tell you, there's definitely been a little bit of smack talking coming from some of the people I know back home.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many people in your circle will be at the game? Like, how many friends, how many family members? Are you gonna request a lot of tickets for that one?
Hey, I tell everyone go through my mom at this point. We've had a decent amount, so I tell them, hey, go talk to her. She'll figure it all out, and she'll help me figure out how many tickets I'm gonna end up needing. So, yeah, it's one of those deals. Yeah, it'll be quite a few. Let's put it that way.
That's what moms are for, man. So, being in Nebraska earlier today and last night and, kind of feeling the vibe there every year, things are obviously a little different there as far as expectations go relative to the rest of the Big Ten. The poll came out today. You guys are ranked 24th in the AP poll, and that's coming off a 4-win season. So obviously the hype is at an all-time high there, in the Scott Frost era, and people have high expectations. So when you're, as a student-athlete on campus, when you're walking around, do you get ever stopped by fans? Do you get, ever just stopped in the street to say good luck? Like, what's the actual vibe? Because I feel like it's different there as opposed to some other Big Ten campuses.
It's 100% different. This is the state of Nebraska's pride and joy of the football program here at the university, and it's definitely something. You'll have whether that's some other student stop you, wish you good luck. Especially you go out to eat. You'll get a few people kind of shake your hands. Kind of be excited to meet you, stuff like that. And I think that's one of the things that makes Nebraska so great is how loyal the fans are. They've been filling the stadiums. For I think we've had 360 plus sellouts consecutively, and that just shows that people here love their football. And even through some rougher years, that unfortunately I've been a part of having 4-win seasons, it's really just unbelievable to see how dedicated and loyal the fans are. I know at a lot of other universities, you end up going 4-8. By that last game, no one's in the stands. So, that's just something we really appreciate. So, anytime someone wants to talk to us or stop us in the street, wish us good luck, we'll try to end up striking a conversation with them just because they've been such a loyal fan base, and they're really part of the reason why this program exists. So. It's an unbelievable fan base. I think that's definitely one of the things that separates Nebraska from every other university.
For sure. And I was curious if you ever had like a unusual interaction or something weird kind of happened to you, because I think Coach Frost said a fan sent him like underwear or socks at some point. I don't know if it's ever gotten that extreme with you.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I haven't gotten any underwear in the mail, so that's a good thing so far. But gosh, the craziest thing is I was just over at a restaurant over in a city called Grand Island, and I end up someone wants me to hold their baby and take a picture, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm just a guy. I don't know why you want me to hold a kid, but that was definitely kind of a cool experience, just having something like that happen. But no underwear or anything crazy like that, let's put it that way.
That's good. Hopefully it stays that way. Speaking of Coach Frost, just noticing him, being up close and personal with him today, that dude is jacked, man. Like, he's yoked. Is he putting up more weight than a lot of the guys on the team?
Oh, I'll tell you, he's whipping around weight. We don't get to see it too often. But when he comes down to the weight room, you can definitely say there's not too much of a fall off between him and the linebacker when they're lifting.
That's crazy. Just being up close, you don't really understand on TV. I think it doesn't come across as much, but dude is ripped. And that kind of speaks, I think, or maybe not speaks to it, but it ties into this new weight training program you guys got going on. Tell me what's different maybe now as opposed to the previous leadership there at Nebraska.
I think Coach Duval and his staff have just done an unbelievable job of preparing us. They're never going to overwork us, overtrain us. They always preach, you give us your all when we ask for it. We're going to take care of you. And I'll tell you, by no means does that mean it's an easy program. But I think you can just obviously see after being in our practice. I'd say we all look a lot bigger, a lot faster, a lot stronger as a result of this program. And I think it's just because of Coach Duval, Coach Strop, and that unbelievable program that they got going. And it's just kind of, I think, an emphasis of people buying in and just being willing to go down, get dirty, and just do the work. So that's, I think, the biggest thing that's changed is really the mindset. I think at first as the coaches kind of had to help shape us, get us a good mindset. Now it's really shifting over to the players are the people that are holding people accountable a lot more in the weight room or on the field, or really even for just going to class and stuff like that. So I think they did a great job of kind of setting the example, and then having us kind of taking over and just kind of helping us guide through everything. And I just couldn't be happy to have this staff really on board with it.
Yeah, that's one of the things that our TV crew, our TV guys on on set were saying today is how much more physical and strong you guys looked as opposed to years past. So it's definitely working. And Jack, I'm going to let you go in just a second, but before I do, got to wrap up with something I've asked every player at each stop. Even though I'm not in Lincoln anymore, I'll always take notes for next time. Where is the best place to eat on campus in Nebraska?
The best place to eat? Ooh, let's see. There's definitely a few. I would definitely say, personally, I'm a big poke bowl guy. There's a place called Graywell, and I end up getting that on the weekends every now and then. But it's just a poke bowl where you pick your fish, you pick your rice, and throw a few things in it. And, I'm a huge fan of it too. So I think that'd be my recommendation for you.
I think I ran by that place yesterday. I was doing a little jog around campus, and I think the Gray Whale's right by our hotel. So I'll definitely have to hit that up next time. We're a big Blue Sushi crew. We'll always hit up Blue Sushi because we're connected to that hotel right there usually. So that was our Phil Asian food, but that's a good spot too.
Yep, no doubt.
All right, Jack, appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. Sorry we couldn't meet in person today, but best of luck this season and enjoy the rest of your evening, man.
All right, appreciate it. You too, Alex. Have a good one.
All right, thanks once again to Jack and Winston, Clay, AJ, and Markus for joining me. Thanks to all the SIDs and staff on those campuses for setting it up. And thanks to Wes White and Julie Bronder, as always, for helping to produce this show. One more episode coming at you from the BTN bus tour. We were able to get interviews at all 14 stops, so that was awesome. We're through 11 of those 14 right now, so 3 more coming at you. We'll share the Iowa, Illinois, and Northwestern interviews. That'll drop one day after this episode's released, so look out for that before football season officially gets underway in the Big Ten on Thursday, August 29th. So hope you enjoyed these latest 4 interviews from the tour. As I always say, it's a blast to talk to these guys, meet these guys, and after wrapping up my 3rd BTN bus tour, enjoyed it as much as ever. So hope you guys enjoyed listening to it, and we'll keep the content coming at you. One more bus tour episode before the season starts. So we'll talk to you soon here on the Take 10 podcast.